Yo, yo, yo. What's up, family members? It's the Anything for a Bit Sportscast with Eli Pena and Tyler Watts. Only Tyler Watts today. Eli is taking care of some family business, so all good there. I'm sure he'll tune in or maybe even leave a comment. But yeah, let's let's get into week 5 preview. It's been a nice season to be a Cowboys fan. A lot of optimism, a lot of good things happening, um, and pretty much foregone conclusion for most people you talk to that a Cowboys victory is coming uh, this weekend when the Giants come to AT&T Stadium, and this is definitely a game that the Cowboys can win, should win. Uh, most of the betting came out as Dallas is 7.5 point favorites. It's moved down to 6.5, but they're basically getting a touchdown at home. So everybody thinks that the Cowboys are going to win this game. Uh, I'll tell you, the Giants aren't as bad as their record says they are. They're not much better, but they're not as bad as the record says they are. They've been in some close games, just giving it away at the end. But still overall, just a uh, lot of inconsistency with their team, and just not enough. I mean, not enough talent, honestly. But let's actually go into that. We need to look at who's actually playing, because there were some questions about who would be available for this game on the Giant side of the ball, and I'm actually going to start there because there's just so many people out that and it makes a big deal for the matchup this week. So when you looking at the Giants injuries a lot, man, they just been losing people really all season. They're down the center, Jonathan Harrison, he's out. Their tackle, Andrew Thomas, it's a hurt foot. He's questionable. So he can play, but questionable. Guard Ben Bredesen is out. Jabril Peppers is out, starting safety. Also, Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard. Those are the ones you may have heard about already, and that is I don't know, that is a not that I was scared of the Giants passing attack, but you're looking there at an offense that's already going to be challenged, and two of their top pass catchers are out, and that just puts so much more pressure on the other parts of their offense. Changes the game plan, slightly on our end, as far as keying in, on Saquon, maybe packing that box a little more, and daring the defense or daring the offense to beat you with Daniel Jones' arm, and not allowing them to have lighter boxes to run against. So big, big, like I said, big updates on that side of the ball, because you want to make sure that the sorry, just a minute here. Yeah, you just want to make sure that you're game planning appropriately, and uh, I think there's going to be much more focus on making sure Saquon just doesn't beat you with a lot of those people out of the game that you don't have to respect. They do still have Evan Ingram, Rudolph, Tony is young pass catcher there. Um, John Ross, a speedster. I think he was in Cincinnati before. So yeah, you still got some people that you need to watch out for. It can still hurt you, but I think you just game plan for Saquon just a bit easier this week, with less depth at that receiver position. But yeah, that's what you're looking at there now. Um, On the Cowboy side of the ball, we want to look at, obviously there was big news this week that Jalen is getting released, got released, went to the Panthers, the Packers. Um, and you're looking at, well, what's going to happen behind him, right? And Jabril Cox hopefully is to see the field a little more. You got Keanu Neal coming back off the COVID list. So that's good too, right? And that was most of the thought, or what I've seen and heard, is that we're looking for linebackers that are going to play in coverage and space better than Jalen Smith was playing, and it's time to give Cox and Neal that playing time. Obviously, Neal was out with the COVID in the COVID protocols because he had the virus, and Cox, just making sure he comes along at the appropriate pace. But it's time, obviously. So they'll get to see the field. Collins still out with his suspension, of course. So nothing changed there. Coop and Diggs and Zeke were on the injury list with minor ailments, but none of them are expected to miss any game time this week. So no worries there. There's no real huge updates. Donovan Wilson's still going to be out, expected next week. Yeah, there's just not there aren't a bunch of new updates here. It's kind of the same parties that have been hanging out on the injured list here. So looking fairly consistent going into this matchup here. But again, on the Giants side of the ball, just a ton of injuries, especially on the line, offensive line, and like I said, with your wide receivers. So just poses a lot of challenges on that side of the ball for a team that's already, deficient in personnel. When you look at what can, what should, what will happen, a couple of the big storylines from the past couple of weeks has been the great play from Ezekiel Elliott, really the rushing offense in general of the Cowboys, but Ezekiel Elliott with the high production, looking great on the field. Pollard, of course, being, the best, him and Pollard being, by far the best 1-2 combo. There's definitely a route to victory this week, looking at, can we just run the ball at the Giants and they can't stop it? They're giving up right around 4.5, 5 yards a rush for the season. And while it seems like they're a worse defense, and that we can run against them, we're actually pretty comparable. The Cowboys and the Giants at rush defense, we actually give up just a little bit more per attempt. Yeah, 4.7. We give up 4.7 per attempt. They give up 4.5. The difference being that they've been run on 40 more times during the season. So while our run defense, can stand to improve, it's basically the same as the Giants. But I believe our personnel, that combination back there with our offensive line, is going to be more effective than the Giants, attempting to run on us. Now, with that being said, there are some big differences between those defenses that I want to point out, because at the surface level, it looks like, oh, we play the similar amount of run defense, right? Like maybe the defenses aren't that different. There's two pretty telling stats, right? The first one is how many percentage of their drives end in a score on the offense. right? And with the Giants, that's 44% of the drive. So almost half the time they're giving up a score to the offense, where the Cowboys are at 34%. And that's directly correlated to the next stat, where that turnover percentage per drive, or the turnover percentage on the drives this season. The Cowboys are at 23%, of course, leading the league, and the Giants are at 10. Okay, so while the Cowboys are giving up yards, are allowing teams to move the ball, they are making plays on defense, which, it's that old bend but don't break mentality. And, right now the Giants are just bending and breaking. So looking to, of course, continue some good performance with that this week. I do believe that their rush defense is susceptible. Uh, so Pollard and Zeke should have a very nice afternoon. But to be true, to be truthful about what's going on this season, whatever the defense is going to give Dak, he's going to make sure that we're in the right play at the line. So if they're playing a lot of high safety looks or out of the box and allow us to run, I'm sure that will be productive. It will be an efficient run game anyway, even if the attempts aren't there. But Dak has shown, and with the preparation as well from the coaching staff, we're just going to take what's there, and we're going to be very efficient when we do it. And there's playmakers at every position. So, yeah, Zeke and Pollard can definitely go off this week. But as long as the Giants aren't selling out to stop the run. So yeah, that's definitely something to look at this week. Like I said, they've done it. We've done a great job of just making sure we don't try to force anything on offense. So hopefully that continues this week. Certain the Cowboys aren't underestimating their opponent. That's just us in fan world being crazy and making sure that we show our pride, and there's no way at all that we could lose this week. So it's definitely possible, and really the way through that is the Giants still have, like I mentioned earlier, Evan Ingram, Kyle Rudolph, Saquon, and like I said, they still have John Ross and Tony as receiving threats. And if there's one call out that is been consistent this season, is the coverage ability of our linebackers. And while this in theory should get better, right, because Jalen's gone, we still have to see those people on the field, right? Cox and Neal prove that they're better in a game situation. So it's definitely something to watch, because Ingram and Rudolph are quality tight ends, and Garrett is, for all his play calling, just headaches, he will protect the quarterback with easy, quick reads over the middle. Play action if they get it going with Saquon, and then attempting to take that 15, 20-yard chunk play right over that second level of the defense. And those kind of things can break a game plan if you get out of whack and just get out of rhythm, trying to figure out a way to stop those things. Now, I do believe we have the personnel to get that done. Again, that second level, it seems like we're retooling that second level of the defense to make sure that we can cover the backs, receivers, and tight ends, because that's where it's going in the NFL, right? Like it's nickel and dime defense almost every play. Power running is like situational football now. So excited to see how that second level performs this week against legitimate threats, right? And again, should we win the game? Yes, but uh, a sober fan might, just pump the brakes a little bit and realize that there are some things the Giants can do well that exploit the weak part of the Dallas defense. So definitely something to watch. Um, but the Giants are going to have some problems, okay, on their side of the ball when they get the ball. Because the big question is, can they protect Daniel Jones? How? How are you gonna make sure he stands up for 4 quarters and allows you a chance to win the game? We went through the injury report earlier. It's a who's who on their offensive line right now, and they're just sticking guys in there and hoping, right, that something works out. Now they've been they've been okay running the ball. There's been a lot more designed runs for Daniel Jones, and teams aren't like we know that he can run, but teams aren't going into the game saying, okay, let's just make sure we don't scheme or make sure we scheme for Daniel Jones so he doesn't beat us. Uh, so that's why I think you see the uh, the surprise or the success in his run game is defense is willing to give that up. And if Daniel Jones runs for 80 yards on you, it's not going to turn into victories most of the time, right? Because he's been a pretty effective rusher this season, and it's not translating to victory for his team. But for his part, he is being more efficient with the football. He's not turning it over. Now, that's also a function of Jason Garrett being ultra conservative in the play calling and what he's asking him to do. He has, I believe, the lowest number of attempts of big play. So any 20 plus yard passes is the lowest in the league by far. Yards per attempt is super low with Daniel Jones. So they're definitely protecting him with the play calling too. Let's take a look here. T. Watts holding down the fort tonight. Appreciate you, my guy. I knew you'd come through with a comment. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's again, I love doing it, so not a big deal. Definitely more weird to talk to yourself while you're doing it. So hopefully next show you're back and ready to go. But I'm sure everything will be all good. Let's keep going though. So yeah, can they protect Daniel Jones? It's gonna be hard. We saw last week with Carolina, who has a similar grade of offensive line when you're talking about the Panthers and the Giants. And we saw that, hey, it just takes a stretch, right? 9-10 minutes. You miss your assignments. Defense gets going and gets loud, a couple sacks, couple pressures, and 20 points go up on the board. I see a similar situation unfolding this week. The difference, of course, being that instead of a rookie in the backfield who was talented but unproven in Hubbard, you've got a legitimate bona fide superstar in Saquon Barkley in the backfield. And again, as long as he's being managed, I don't want to say held in check because it's hard to completely shut down a player like Saquon. But as long as he's held in check, you are giving your pass rush a chance to be in advantageous situations, make Daniel Jones hold the ball to throw it down the field, and let the magic happen. That seems to be a nice recipe that the Cowboys are employing right now, and through various line games that they're playing, and again the personnel. I don't think that left tackle Thomas is going to be able to block Gregory the whole game. Diggy and Parsons are going to have shown consistently that from other places on the line, again, outside, inside, run them across each other. It's fine. They're going to find a way to make pressure, especially against inferior talent, right? And that's one of the things that you like to see from your team is when they are playing people that they are better than, do they rise to the occasion and, uh, make the plays that count? We've seen it happen. And I do expect that to continue against the Giants. Again, this just feels like a season where, uh, you know, we're building confidence doing things that, uh, win games that are repeatable and, getting home to the quarterback and pressuring the quarterback, uh, and using that to, generate turnovers or get opposing teams off the field and get our offense the ball back when they're converting touchdowns, not field goals. Uh, that's repeatable success. And I look for the Cowboys to continue that this week. Like I said, the main thing you want to look at is that second level of the defense and those linebackers cover Ingram and Rudolph. But I don't believe they're going to sustain a legitimate pass protection all 4 quarters. Again, the Cowboys will give up some yards on the ground, but through the Giants being down in this game, they're going to have to throw the ball just a bit more, get out of their comfort zone, and the game will get away from them. Maybe the first interception. Has Daniel Jones thrown a pick this year? I have to look at that actually, because he's either not thrown a pick or is very low, like one interception. Uh, but we're gonna get Jones to turn the ball over. And again, that's just because we're going to be able to get to him and make him throw that ball before he wants to. Let's take a look here. Daniel Jones has just the one interception on the year right now. But he only has 4 touchdowns too. So again, super conservative offense. They're not pushing the ball down the field. So I don't expect a huge game from Daniel Jones. I don't expect anything crazy from him. He'll make a couple nice throws. He'll probably keep the ball in a couple zone reads. Now, I will say that maybe because last week in Darnold, getting outside and showing his athleticism, maybe the Cowboys are respecting that quarterback run just a bit more. But again, Daniel Jones is not about to run us out of the building, so not a big deal. Well, there. Let's see. Dan Quinn is going to coach circles around the Clapper tomorrow. Giants have no chance. That is the prevailing sentiment. I don't particularly believe that Jason Garrett is going to outcoach the Cowboys tomorrow. He's just going to stay true to what he does because that's what he does, right? He is consistent, if nothing else. So he's going to play his game. He will probably be successful in some small parts of it, right? Saquon's good enough. He'll probably, he'll have a decent day. Probably give him the ball 12, 15 times. 75-ish yards, 80 yards. It'll look decent. Jones will get a couple rushing yards. Nice little zone reads. That's fine. They'll probably even get some yards up the middle, honestly, on those tight ends. They're just not going to do much else than that. And it's going to be their undoing. Again, this is one of those games that the Cowboys are going to have to beat themselves. They're going to have to give the ball away. They're going to have to take a bunch of field goals. Just play just super opposite of what they've done this year, right? They would have to kind of revert back to the old Cowboys for a game for this to even get close. So, again, don't see that happening. The Giants just don't pose that many threats. And while division games can be a little wonky and unpredictable, they're just not good enough. And speaking of being unpredictable, I think we can predict with a high level of certainty that the Giants will win this game. Or sorry, the Giants will lose this game. The Cowboys are going to win this game. Good Lord. Again, I'll keep saying it every week. This is a top 3, if not the top offense in the NFL. It is going to be hard to keep them under 30 points every time they touch the field. This Giants defense is not one of those units that are going to keep them under 30. And I know the Panthers defense was ranked number 1, and I had some suspicions about their rankings coming into the game just because of who they played. But the Cowboys put up 36 and arguably took, the fourth quarter off. So we're talking a 38-20 game. It was a comfortable victory. The Cowboys will be in control the whole time. And again, Giants may get some garbage time scores or garbage time stats. I'm thinking 38-20, a balanced attack, 160-ish yards on the ground between Zeke and Pollard. Dak will throw in another 230-ish, 240-ish yards in the air, 3 touchdowns. And it'll be, like I said, easy roll on to 4-1. And then we'll, of course, entertain all Super Bowl conversations and things of that nature because we won't be able to hold ourselves back. 37-17 boys from Eli Pena. Yeah, that's about right. Well, I say 38-20, 37-17. Yeah. I'm giving the Giants one more field goal. But, yeah, man, this offense is too good. And the defense makes the plays that they need to make. And this, this defense is getting better every time it hits the field. They're improving. Personnel shakeup, obviously on the second level, but we think it's for the best. So hopefully they come out and make a statement and hold these Giants down to 20 points or less and show you that they are moving in the right direction and it's championship level on both sides of the ball. Well, again, that's your game preview. This is Tyler Watts holding it down for Eli Pena with Anything for a Bit Sportscast. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll have that recap for you after the Cowboys win. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the show with a friend. But yeah, we appreciate anyone that's watching and all the feedback that we get. So again, this is Anything for a Bit Sportscast. I'm out.